Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Pittsburgh's defense in the first half of Sunday's win over Seattle was excellent, shutting them out, holding them to 18 yards rushing. Unfortunately, in the second half and primarily in the third quarter, the defense really seemed to do a 180. Seattle ran all over Pittsburgh, 120 yards, I think, alone in the third quarter. And I know it's convenient and easy and nice and tidy for us to blame just one guy. And I think certainly some guys were more at fault than others, as you'll see in these clips. But really, the issues were across the board. Today, we'll go through issues with the defensive line, the linebackers, and just the overall scheme of the Steelers. We'll start with the Steelers' defensive line, and I want you to pay close attention to nose tackle Isaiah Buggs. We have a bunch of clips to show, so I'll kind of run through things quicker than hopefully I usually do. And so on this play, he just steps wrong off the ball. And you see on the snap here, the Seattle's offensive line stepping to their right, and Buggs is stepping away from that to his right. He needs to step and flow with where the offensive line is going, the direction the offensive line is going. And so that allows the backside lineman here to reach and cut Bugs off. That's going to be the left guard on this play who gets his head across. Bugs is unable to get into and secure his gap on this play, and it's a big run here for the running back. I believe that's Alex Collins. So I'm going to edit in a photo of the gap assignment of this play and who has each gap. So I'll go over it briefly here. On this play, Isaiah Buggs has the A gap to his right, Joe Schobert the A gap to Buggs' left, Chris Wormley in the B gap, TJ Watt the C gap, force contain player to his side. Cam Hayward has the B gap, Devin Bush the C gap, and Alex Highsmith the force contain player to his side. And so I understand why Buggs did step down into that A gap initially, but with the way the scheme was, he actually took himself out of that gap. He's trying to secure that A gap, which is his gap, but he's stepping wrong there ultimately, and the left guard's able to reach him, and it turns into a big run for Seattle. A little bit later in the game, Isaiah Buggs got hurt in this one. I think it's a groin injury. We don't know for sure, but he did not finish Sunday's game. And so Henry Mondeau had to step in to be the nose tackle. He's essentially the fourth or even fifth string nose tackle on the Steelers team this year behind Tyson Alualu, Buggs, and Carlos Davis, all three who are injured, and Buggs, like I said, who got injured mid-game, and so you just see him really struggle along the interior to, have the size and strength to hold the point of attack. And he just gets washed down really badly on this play. It's not a big run overall. Cam Hayward does a great job here. They're trying to reach him with a tight end, which is a terrible idea. But you just see Mondo get washed really, down by the left guard on this play, way out of his gap, and that creates a big run. So it's a tough spot for Mondo. He's not a nose tackle. He plays a little bit of it, but he's certainly better out on the edge because he's a more athletic guy than a stout guy. And you really feel the impact of him playing the middle on this play. Moving on to the linebackers, and honestly, I'm not 100% sure who to blame for this play. My initial inclination was to blame Alex Highsmith because I thought he had the B gap on this one, but just watching this one back through, I'm not 100% sure to kind of restart the play. They're bringing Pittsburgh is nickel pressure from Arthur Millette off the right side, and credit to Seattle, they consistently ran away from that nickel pressure, so they did a good job. But who is the B gap defender on this play? Came in with his A gap. Alex Highsmith seems to have the edge, but with Millette blitzing, you think he'd become the force player, and Highsmith would have B gap. Is it Devin Bush, who seems to be playing across and flowing for maybe the A gap here? Looks like Wormley's in the B gap, but the question is, who is that B gap defender? There's no one here. You got Hayward flowing down. Highsmith looks like he's contained. There's Millette on the outside as well. Bush coming down and flowing here, and it creates the cutback lane for the running back, and there's just no one filling that gap, and it turns into a nice run for I believe that's Alex Collins again. And so I watch it one more time. You just got to wonder, who is not fitting this correctly to be in that backside B gap when the running back cuts this one back. No one's there, and it's a decent run. On this play, watch Devin Bush, and he's trying to beat the center to the A gap here, trying to shoot this gap, but he just can't get there in time. And the center does a good job to wash him down and into Terrell Edmonds. And you have a huge lane here for the running back. It's Alex Collins once again into that second, third level untouched, and for another nice run until thankfully Cam Hayward's able to make the stop. Also, look at it, Isaiah Buggs. I think he has the A gap here on this play, but gets reached by the left guard. Once again, he's unable to flow down the line and try to impact this one. His head is down. The left guard does a great job of reaching him, setting his hips, and turning him out. And that also contributes to that big hole on this play for Collins. But yeah, Bush getting washed down. That's ugly. Bugs getting reached. That's ugly as well. And it's all of a sudden Collins, 5, 10 yards before he's touched for the first time. Then there were some missed tackles right here on the goal line. Joe Schobert, T.J. Watt in this play missing the tackle on Collins. They have him, dead to rights in the backfield, and they can't bring him down. And so what should have been, a loss of this play of about 3 yards or so, and the 5 6 yard line turns into I think a gain of about a yard, and that's disappointing in that moment. But someone's got to make the tackle there. You look at it from the top down view. They're both in the backfield. They both do a good job here initially. Watt shooting this gap, Schobert shooting through. The offensive lineman can't reach him in time. I mean, they got to make this play right here. This is at the 6 yard line. It's going to be a loss, and instead, Collins able to spin off, and he gets down to about the 1 yard line. And I believe Seattle scored on the very next play. So that's just basic fundamental missed tackle stuff from both of those guys. Again, missed tackles are issue across the board, not just them. Well, in this play, it was those two guys, and you can't have that. Eyes to the secondary, Terrell Edmonds on this play, and he's just really late with his eyes in reaction to this touchdown by Alex Collins. I'm not sure what he's reading on this play. Generally, you're not always reading what the handoff is. You're reading, a key from the tackle or the hat of the tight end or something like that. But Edmonds just no reaction on this play. He's so late to react and fill this gap, and he's not maybe the only one that's at fault on this play. But just watch Edmonds super late with his eyes, and he's got to fill that gap with authority to be that downhill alley kind of safety. And by the time he gets there, he doesn't even get there in time. Collins is diving over the goal line for a touchdown. So one last look at it. We'll look at it from the top down view as well. Edmonds super late on this play to react to this one. He's normally decent against the run. He's aggressive and he's physical and things like that, but really late to react on that key, and it's a touchdown for Seattle. Last thing I would note, just some schematic stuff that Seattle was able to take advantage of in this game. Definitely when Pittsburgh was up 14-0 in the second half, and I think Mike Tomlin said this at halftime to the NBC crew, or the sideline reporter at least, that their goal was to not get beat deep by Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. You think about the Broncos game, for example. Denver got back into that game in part because of some of their chunk plays to Cortland Sutton and others. And so I know Pittsburgh's philosophy was, just play too high and take away any sort of deep ball, no chunk plays. And so Pittsburgh on the snap in a two high shell with Minka Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds, and it's a better box count here for Seattle on this play, and they're even up. I think it's an even box count in this example, and so we'll look at it here from the end zone view. They're in 12 personnel, two tight end set on this one, so they have seven guys blocking the five offensive linemen plus the two tight ends against a seven-man box for Pittsburgh. So three on the line plus the four linebackers. Minka's going to back off here in a moment. And so it's a 7-on-7 box count. They're even. That's good numbers to run on. It's good double teams up front. And so I don't think any Steeler did a terrible job on this play in terms of their assignment, though we've seen it in other clips. But when you're playing too high and the opposing team has even numbers in the run game, if they do their job, then you're really at the mercy because now the back's got freedom, and it's a good run here initially to start things off for Seattle. Last example here, and again, a schematic thing. Like I said, Pittsburgh blitzed Millette a couple times in the third quarter, and Seattle did a great job of running away from that. And so, one issue whenever the Steelers want to blitz the nickel corner, that means obviously the nickel corner can't be part of the coverage assignment. So, you need someone to compensate for the nickel corner covering. And so, what happens here is Millette's blitzing, they're going to rotate over and have Terrell Edmonds come down on the slot to replace Millette on the blitz. And so, that safety has a tougher time to fit the run because he's no longer going to play in the box or really be part of the run fit because he's over in coverage to account for the nickel blitzer Millette on this play. And so you lose that guy because it's now 3 over 2 because this guy's got a blitz and he's got to cover now to replace that. And so when you run the ball and you run the ball away from that, you lose a guy in the run game. You lose another number, another defender, and so it's an easier box count for Seattle on this play. So you saw that from the aerial view, and you see it here again. Very good numbers here for Seattle. They got six on the offensive line or the line that blocked this one, and six defensively here for Pittsburgh. So it's a 6-on-6. It's an even box count. And that's a good place you want to be if you're an offense. If everyone does their job and blocks things up well, which they do on this play, it's going to be a decent run. And you see that on this play because of the nickel blitz. Edmonds cannot become that next guy coming downhill on this play. Minka's playing single high, by the way, because when you're playing single high, that safety's going to get usually more depth on this play. And so, because you have a lighter box count overall, because Millet's blitzing, that strong safety cannot be part of the fit in the run game, or it's a lot tougher to be, I should say. And you get even numbers in the run game and a pretty good chunk of run of running room here for Alex Collins in Seattle in this example. So hopefully that gives some more clarity on what happened with the run defense. Luckily, things got better in the fourth quarter and in overtime in particular. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward taking over as they allowed him out, making a nice play or two in that one. So you saw improvement there. You saw some things get fixed, and so that was good to see. But yeah, run defense, it's an 11-man job. I talk about that all the time. It's not just your defensive line or just your linebackers or even just your front seven. Everyone's got to be able to bring it. And when you combine some of the technical issues with guys not getting off of blocks, with guys, missing tackles and all those kinds of things against some too high shells and things like that, you get the outcome that you got, which was Seattle running the ball effectively. Kudos to them for sticking with their game plan. Very easy to start going into panic and throw mode, down 14 nothing on the road in primetime football to try to get back into that game. But Seattle stayed the course. They ran the ball well and got back into this one. So Pittsburgh, I think, can and will clean things up. But that's the reason why the run defense really just faltered in the second half and the third quarter in particular. So appreciate you watching. Hopefully this was not too long-winded. We'll see how things go when I edit this thing. But thanks again for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you guys could do so, and we'll talk to you soon.